Is it okay for men to cry in front of women?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Probably not,
Why?
because men are kind of weak at times. I don't cry in front of men, so.
You think it's okay for men to cry?
Not in front of women, but definitely you gotta take some. If you gotta take some time to cry to yourself, sometimes like we gotta do that. But nah, you should always do that in your own privacy.
It's okay for men to express emotions.
Men are weak.
I think that it's pretty toxic for men not to show the full spectrum of emotions.
Has a man ever cried in front of you?
Yeah,
And what was it about?
dumping him.
So how did you feel in that moment?
I just felt like it was time to dump the trash.
Has a guy ever cried in front of you?
Oh, absolutely.
What was the reason?
Because I broke up with him.
And how did you feel in that moment?
I felt amazing, which is not a good response.
Is it okay for men to cry in front of women?
If it's manipulative, obviously not. But if it's over something genuine, men should always be allowed to cry over anything.
And what case would it be manipulative?
You know, if they've cheated on you and they're like, oh no, and they're crying, that's manipulative.
Has a guy ever cried in front of you?
Yeah.
What was it about?
His mom.
Yeah, they should cry in front of women. Why not?
So what if they cry like every day?
I mean, if that's where they're at in life, then that's where they're at in life.
And that wouldn't be a turn off to you?
I've never found it to be a turnoff, ever. I mean, like, whatever. If you cry after sex, it's fine. Happens.
If a guy were to cry about his family in front of me, that would be a turnoff. Like, especially if we've only known each other for like a couple weeks.
Would you tell your friends about it?
Oh, that would be the first person I would text. I would be like, hey, you would not believe who just cried in front of me.
Is it a turn off if a man cries early on in the relationship?
No.
Why do some girls think that it is?
I feel like maybe they have a misconstrued view on masculinity.
Is it a turn off if he cries early on in the relationship?
No, I don't think so.
I think a guy crying in front of anybody right away is weak. I think he should save it and do it at a more appropriate time. Again, like to himself.
So men shouldn't cry like privately, they should do it in front of you?
Yeah.
You like to see them cry?
No. Maybe sometimes.
If they're going to be able to cry in front of a woman, they have to be vulnerable and they have to be like cooked, as you would say.
So let's say he comes, he's stressed out from work, and he just breaks down and cries. What are you gonna do?
I don't know. Comfort him.
What if he does that like twice a week?
Comfort. I don't know.
What if he does that like 3 times a week?
Crying that much is not good.
I'm going to be supportive. I'm a pretty supportive person, so.
Is there any situation like where if they cried, you'd be like, ew?
I feel like if it was the first date and they started crying, I would be like, what the fuck?
You have to say to the guys that say they're emotionally unavailable.
If you're emotionally unavailable, I think you should talk to a therapist.
Okay, so what's your like advice to guys who say that they're emotionally unavailable?
You haven't found the right woman yet.
Address their emotions.
Yeah.
Feel the emotions. That's the only way you get through it.
And if you don't, toxic masculinity.
I think it's just like the choice to not grow as a person.
Last message to men who are crying too much.
Get a therapist.
To all the men that cry too much, I would say cry more because women love it.
And what's your most unpopular opinion?
To go for the girls that you think are too attractive for you.
They don't get hit on enough.
No, they don't.
They're too scared. The guys are too scared.
Guys are too scared to hit on attractive women. And that's no one's fault, but I think go for attractive women because girls are waiting on you.